When a person becomes more conscious, their relationship with life changes in ways that are both subtle and profound. Consciousness is not simply about thinking differently, it is about seeing differently. It sharpens your perception, softens your ego, and widens your understanding. You begin to notice layers of reality that were previously invisible. You see the intentions behind actions, the patterns behind behavior, and the truth behind appearances. And this shift naturally alters how you experience pleasure. Before awakening, simple pleasures are enough. A casual conversation, a night out, mindless entertainment, or small material comforts bring satisfaction. They feel enjoyable because your awareness is resting at the surface of life. But once consciousness expands, the surface is no longer enough. You begin to feel the emptiness behind certain behaviors. You sense the artificiality behind forced enjoyment. You notice yourself going through motions that no longer match the person you are becoming. The mind that has awakened cannot return to its previous way of perceiving. What was once enjoyable now feels unfamiliar. You find yourself asking deeper questions in situations where others accept simplicity without hesitation. For example, when someone tells a joke, you sense the insecurity behind their need to be liked. When you engage in small talk, you feel the superficiality and unspoken emotional distance. When you go to a social gathering, you notice the collective stress, ego, and noise that most people are unaware of. This heightened awareness changes how pleasure is experienced. Conscious people also become more attuned to truth. There is a natural aversion to anything that feels fake, forced, or disconnected. Simple pleasures often rely on overlooking deeper truths, ignoring discomfort, suppressing emotion, or distracting oneself with entertainment. But consciousness does the opposite. It illuminates everything. It reveals what is real and what is not. And once you see the truth, you cannot pretend you do not. This makes certain pleasures lose their spark, because their spark was tied to unconsciousness. Another part of this shift is emotional clarity. Conscious people feel more deeply, but they also understand more deeply. They become aware of their own desires, wounds, and patterns. Something as simple as scrolling through social media can bring discomfort because you sense how much of it is built on validation, comparison, and illusion. Watching a movie filled with shallow drama may feel unappealing because you see the emotional manipulation behind it. Even something like eating comfort food can feel different because you notice when you're eating for distraction rather than nourishment. This does not mean conscious people stop enjoying life. It simply means they stop enjoying what does not resonate with their deeper self. They crave authenticity, presence, and meaningful connection. They want experiences that nourish the soul, not the ego. The shift in awareness makes them more selective, not in a judgmental way, but in a natural, intuitive way. Awakening changes your taste, your perception, and your relationship with pleasure. And once consciousness expands, life asks you to seek joy not from the surface, but from the depth you have discovered within yourself. One of the most powerful but challenging aspects of becoming more conscious is the gradual loss of illusion. Simple pleasures often depend on not looking too deeply. They rely on distraction, on emotional habit, on the comfort of ignorance. Before awakening, these pleasures feel natural because you experience the world only through the surface layer of your mind. But when awareness expands, illusions begin to dissolve, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, and when they do, the pleasures built on them dissolve as well. Illusion is what allows people to enjoy things that are temporary, shallow, or emotionally unhealthy. Entertainment feels exciting because you don't question its purpose. Social validation feels rewarding because you don't analyze why it matters. Material comforts feel fulfilling because you haven't yet noticed their emptiness. But consciousness pulls back the curtain and reveals what was always hiding beneath, the truth. And once the truth is seen, the illusion cannot be reconstructed. For conscious people, this loss of illusion is not always something they choose. It simply happens as a result of clarity. They cannot force themselves to enjoy gossip because they see the insecurity, judgment, and emotional pain behind it. They cannot enjoy parties filled with chaos because they feel the hidden loneliness and desperation beneath the laughter. They cannot enjoy shopping for unnecessary things because they sense the temporary emotional fix disguised as fulfillment. And they cannot enjoy escapism because they are acutely aware of what they are trying to escape from. This loss of illusion applies not only to external pleasures, but also to internal ones. Conscious people begin to see through their own ego. They notice when they are acting from fear, craving, or old patterns. They recognize when pleasure is simply a distraction from discomfort. This makes it difficult to lie to themselves. And when self-deception ends, the pleasure built on self-deception also ends. This can feel like emptiness at first, but it is actually the clearing of space for something deeper. Illusion also fades in relationships. You begin to see people more clearly. Their wounds, their masks, their conditioning, conversations that once felt fun, now feel repetitive or shallow because you see the emotional patterns driving them. You notice the motives behind people's actions, even when they are unaware of them. This clarity makes it hard to immerse yourself in social pleasures that depend on unconsciousness. You can no longer pretend that everything is fine when your awareness catches every unspoken truth. Many conscious people think they have lost enjoyment, but what they have truly lost is the ability to enjoy false enjoyment. They can no longer get pleasure from things that are misaligned with their deeper truth. The mind that has tasted authenticity refuses to settle for imitation. But this loss of illusion is not a punishment, it is freedom. It pushes you toward higher forms of joy, toward experiences that are real, nourishing, and aligned with your soul. When illusion dies, deeper pleasure becomes possible. The pleasure of presence, clarity, connection, creativity, inner peace, and truth. Illusion fades so that real joy can finally emerge. As consciousness expands, something profound begins to awaken within you. A heightened sensitivity to energy. You start to feel life differently. What others overlook becomes loud to you. What others tolerate becomes overwhelming. What others call fun or normal often feels energetically heavy, distracting, or emotionally draining. This sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a sign that your awareness has deepened. But it also makes it difficult to enjoy the simple pleasures most people rely on to get through their daily lives. Conscious people pick up on the subtle energy behind situations, places, and people. A crowded room does not just look noisy, it feels noisy energetically. Every emotion, every intention, every unspoken thought creates a vibration, and you feel it like static electricity in your nervous system. You can no longer lose yourself in the environment the way others do. You remain hyper-aware, attuned to every shift, every contrast, every invisible tension. This sensitivity makes it hard to relax in places where unconscious people feel perfectly comfortable. Even casual conversations are experienced differently. For most, small talk is harmless, light, or even enjoyable. But for conscious people, small talk carries an uncomfortable energy. You feel the emotional distance behind the words. You sense when someone is pretending, hiding pain, or wearing a mask. You pick up on the hollowness of conversations that lack authenticity, sincerity, or depth. And because you sense so much, you cannot unsense it. Your awareness turns every interaction into a deeper experience. This energetic sensitivity also affects pleasure. Many simple pleasures contain emotional layers that unconscious people do not notice. For example, a party feels heavy because you feel the collective anxiety and suppressed emotions. A social gathering feels draining because you sense the performative energy behind people's behavior. A loud environment feels chaotic because your mind has become used to silence, clarity, and presence. Even entertainment can feel off because you detect the emotional manipulation behind movies, music, or media designed to distract rather than uplift. You are no longer just experiencing events. You are experiencing the energy behind them. The same sensitivity applies to people. Conscious individuals often feel the energy of others long before they speak. You sense when someone is angry, sad, insecure, dishonest, or pretending. Their emotional state becomes palpable to you, sometimes even overwhelming. This makes it difficult to enjoy interactions that others find simple. People who are unaware of themselves create energetic noise without realizing it, and you feel it instantly. Because of this heightened awareness, you naturally crave depth. You want genuine connection, meaningful conversation, and environments that feel peaceful and aligned. You want to be around people whose presence feels calm, grounded, and real. You want experiences that nourish your inner world, not just entertain your outer senses. To the unconscious world, this sensitivity appears strange or excessive. But to the conscious mind, it is simply truth. It is a deeper way of experiencing reality. This sensitivity removes the pleasure from superficial things, but replaces it with something far more meaningful, the pleasure of clarity, authenticity, and inner alignment. It teaches you what truly resonates with your soul and what does not. There comes a moment in every conscious person's journey when they stop trying to force themselves to enjoy what everyone else seems to love. It doesn't happen suddenly. It unfolds quietly, like a weight being lifted from the mind. At first, conscious people feel frustrated with themselves, wondering why the usual joys of life don't hit the same way. They ask themselves why small pleasures, movies, parties, gossip, shopping, casual fun, don't bring them the ease or excitement that others feel. But over time, a deeper truth begins to form. They were never meant to find fulfillment in the superficial. The system is designed to seek meaning, awareness, connection, truth, and depth. And once they stop resisting this truth, something powerful happens: freedom. This freedom is not the freedom society talks about. It's not about doing whatever you want or escaping responsibilities. It's the freedom of finally accepting who you are without apology. Conscious people stop comparing their experience to others. They stop thinking something is wrong with them. They stop feeling guilty about not being able to enjoy shallow entertainment. And in that acceptance, they discover the kind of peace that simple pleasures could never give them. They realize that their joy doesn't come from distraction. It comes from alignment. Their pleasure doesn't come from stimulation. It comes from understanding. They don't enjoy activities that numb the mind because their happiness lives in the opposite direction. Clarity, awareness, presence. This doesn't mean conscious people can't enjoy anything. It means they enjoy differently. They enjoy moments of real connection, deep conversations, authentic laughter, creative expression, spiritual insight, or quiet solitude more deeply than most people enjoy a whole night of entertainment. This shift brings a new kind of richness to life. Suddenly, a walk in silence feels more meaningful than a loud gathering. A quiet evening with one true friend feels better than a party of 100. A single moment of inner clarity feels more valuable than a whole day of forced fun. Conscious people stop chasing pleasure and start experiencing it naturally through their inner world rather than their external environment. And the most surprising thing is this: when they stop forcing simple pleasures, life becomes more beautiful, not less. The pressure disappears. The expectations fade. They stop pretending. They stop performing. They stop trying to fit in with the emotional rhythms of people who are living a completely different inner reality. They allow themselves to live in a way that matches their depth, their sensitivity, their awareness.